All right, now I'm going to start recording this. Okay, so we're on number 14 on page 203. This is just for the sake of people tuning in. So Abby, try that again. Clamor audiabatur. The shout
was heard.
Well, or was being heard, right? Because it's imperfect, not perfect. Now, Declan, what about nautarum reliquorum? Tell me about those.
It'd be I know nautorum is genitive, plural.
Very good. Reliquorum is the same, right? It's an adjective.
Yeah.
So when you have a genitive, this is just a little clue, usually it's going to be right after the noun that it's modifying. So think of a genitive as kind of like an adjective of quality. Okay? So Chloe?
Yes.
The shout nautarum reliquorum. The shout.
The shout was being heard by the remaining.
No. This is not a ablative of agent. These are genitive.
Oh.
So it's modifying the noun that comes right before it. The shout, and remember, genitive is of.
Oh.
Can you help her, Abby? The shout nautarum reliquorum. Or the cry, it could be cry, right? Although I suppose that might be vox instead of clamor. Either you guys got it?
The shout
of
the sailors was heard.
Well, you got to get that reliquorum in there. The shout of the
remaining sailors
was being heard. Okay, so imagine a ship and they shot at it and they killed a bunch of it and the ship starts to sink. The shout of the remaining sailors, the ones who were initially killed, was being heard. Okay, so again, passive voice, singular, so it's the shout of, or the cry of the remaining sailors was being heard. Or they're in a big storm, right? There's a storm that's going to knock the boat over. So they're crying out, like Jonah chapter 1. Let's take a look at number 18. Erps muro munitor. So Chloe, tell me about the verb here.
Okay, so the verb is third person singular in the present tense, and it is the passive voice.
Third person singular, very good, present tense. So Abby, what's the subject?
18 herbs.
Right, which just for your guys' information, BS together is pronounced with like a PS, so it's actually ERPS. We get the word urban from this, right? So Chloe, can you translate just the subject and the verb?
Yes. The city is being constructed.
Well, or is being fortified, right? Is being fortified. constructed we use with the word via, right?
Oh, okay.
But I think in this case, I mean, yeah, you could say constructed, but I think again, a lot of these sentences are military contexts. So just think of the word. So the city is being fortified, and then you've got Muro. So Abby, what case is Muro?
Okay.
U-C-O-M-O, U-C-O-M-O, U-C-O-M-O.
Ablative?
Ablative, right? So it's going to be an ablative of means. So Chloe, Earps, Muro, Munitor.
One second. Yeah, I gotta remember what mural is.
Wall.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
that's
get the
right.
word
Okay.
mural. We get the word mural from it.
Okay.
So you paint
The
a mural
city's
on a. Go ahead.
the city's wall is being fortified.
No, 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 no. This is, see, what you did there is you turned Earps into a genitive and you turned wall into a nominative, right? The city's wall, but that's not what this says. Muro is not nominative. Muro is ablative.
The city is fortifying the wall.
No, Muro is not accusative, and the verb is not active. The verb is passive.
The city is being fortified by the wall.
The city is being fortified by a wall. It's an ablative of means, right? So again, that's why we went through the exercise of identifying the passive and doing just the subject and the verb. The city is being fortified, and then you can figure out what your prepositional phrase is doing after that. Okay. Let's do one more. Well, let's look at number 4. Number 4 is almost exactly the same sentence, except this time instead of an ablative of means, we have an ablative of agent. So we've got the same subject and the same verb. Earps a rege victoriae cupido munitor. So again, Abby, what was that subject and verb that we just had in 18?
Herbs and
So just translate that subject and that verb again. The city.
The city is being fortified.
Right, is being fortified. And so now we've got, and so just, write that down first. When you identify the subject and the verb, write that down so that you know it's a passive, you don't accidentally switch it over to an active voice later on, okay? So the city is being fortified, a rege victoriae cupido. And Chloe, that's all one prepositional phrase, because Victoria or Cupido is modifying rege. So when you see that ob, what does that automatically tell you? What are we dealing with here? A rege.
Like a living agent?
Right. And so what case is that going to be in Latin? Various is eme. Various is eme.
Well, use by, so is it ablative?
Right. So the city is being fortified by, who's it fortifying it, Abby? It's being fortified by rege, rex regis.
King.
by a king, and this king is Victoriae Cupido.
Eager for victory?
Eager for victory. That's why he's fortifying the city, because he wants to win. Okay, so the city is being fortified by a king eager for victory or desirous of victory. So Cupido is in the ablative because it has to agree with king, but then Victoriae is in the genitive because that adjective cupidus, this goes all the way back to, I think it was lesson 8 or 9. There's certain adjectives that take particular cases. So the adjective takes the case of the noun it's modifying, but then that adjective, the noun that it's describing, takes a particular case, in this case, genitive, eager for victory. Okay. All right. Do you guys have any more questions?
What does it want us to do when it says explain the construction of the italicized words?
Well, those are, okay, so let's look at number 5. Number 5. Filio Dei is an appositive modifying Christo. My heater's on, so you may not be able to hear me as well. So we give thanks to Christ, comma, the Son of God. So that's an appositive. So that's the explanation for that. Okay. Number 3, cum Caesara permantes in Gallium Veni. I came with Caesar, so that's an ablative, through the mountains, that's describing where, into Gaul, and that's describing where. So you got a prepositional phrase, you've got a prepositional phrase. Those are all just different prepositional phrases, right?
So you have to write that it's in like a
number
prepositional
1,
phrase?
the camp was always being fortified by the Romans. So the construction of the italicized words, you've got a passive verb and you've got an ablative of agent. So for instance, the one we did together, number 14, reliquorum is an adjective modifying nautarum. Reliquorum is an adjective modifying nautarum.
So you would say it's an adjective?
Right, it's an adjective. Reliquus, reliqua, reliquum.
Okay. So you just have to say like what part of speech it is then?
Right.
Okay. Okay.
You know, 15 and 16, those are a little tricky, but like 18, right? We said that 18 was an ablative of, Abby?
Agent?
No, because there's no ab. It's an ablative of?
Mean.
Mean.
Ablative of means, okay? So, yeah, like number 12, you know, was Lincoln similar to Washington? Let's see what the book here says for how you describe that. Again, it's one of those adjectives that takes a particular case. So similis takes, you can see an ablative case here. Exercise 228. Okay, what number is that? Number
12.
12. So yeah, so it's a dative, sorry, not ablative, dative with similis. So in other words, when you have these adjectives that take particular cases, you give that case and you say that it's because it's with similis. That's the same thing that's going on in 16. That's the same thing that's going on in 15. That's the same thing that's going on in 10, right? the son is often similar to the father. So it's genitive with similus. Similus takes either the dative or the genitive. And again, you can, adjectives governing cases, that's all the way back in chapter 9 or 8. I think it's number
Okay.
8.
So you have to say like the case and then like what it's with?
Right,
Okay,
right.
that makes sense.
All right. So next week I'm gonna be gone. And so what I'll probably have you guys do for homework, it'll just be one assignment, like numbers 21 to 30 in this section. So that's
Okay.
probably all that we're gonna do.
Okay.
Short sentences, fairly simple, and not even necessarily a lot of passives there. There's some passives, like number 25, complebator.
And that'll be for next week?
I'll find a way to
Yeah,
screw
for
it up.
next week. For
Okay.
next week. All right. Great to see you guys.
All right. Thank
Yes,
you.
you do.
Thank you.
God bless you. And, maybe we'll do this again after Memorial Day.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye.
Thanks.